Hey guys, Justin here. Just want to give you an insight into the training stimuluses and how I apply them to write the programming and just a broader understanding. So with the training stimuluses, we have you'll hear me say, this is neurological strength, this is hypertrophy, this is metabolic. But under these, we might have neurological, you've got intensity, you've got efficiency, you've got coordination. So neurological coordination might be say Olympic lifting or getting better at moving the weight. Motor recruitment, so think about picking up a 5 kilo weight versus a 50 kilo weight, how much more muscle fibers you recruit. So they all work on the nervous system, so the brain sending the messages to the muscle to recruit more motor units. Then you've got your hypertrophy umbrella, which is neuroendocrine, mechanotransduction, mechanical damage, oxidative stress, things that can be more glycogenic. And then we have our lactic acid programs or our metabolic phases, which can be oxidative lactic acid, systemic lactic acid programs, and depletion programs. So we'll go into these individually. I'll do a separate video, but how does this play a role? So when you're looking at people that, they just go to the gym all the time and they're just hitting one button, they're just tapping one phase all the time, they often burn out or they see results for a few weeks and then it really drops off. So how do we program these? So for example, might deal with a lot of strength people, people that love strength training, they're just geared towards lifting heavy weight. And then they get to a period of they might have overtrained that stimulus for a while. And then they throw it all out the window. They go, I need to have a week or two off the gym. Whereas they could have applied a different stimulus. So they could have come out of that neurological phase, gone into a hypertrophy phase, something a bit more glycogenic, something that's not going to tax the nervous system as much, and something that's just going to use up a bit more fuel. And the bonus of that would be, okay, you come out of the neurological phase, you do some glycogen-based hypertrophy work that gets better at storing glycogen for one, so energy in between reps. It might also put on some more contractile units so they can take those contractile units back and do more, ask that new contractile tissue to do more work in lifting more weight. So it's just so often you see these guys that from the strength training world that'll just, I just need a rest so I can come back and lift heavier weights. But if they apply a different stimulus, they can still train really hard in the gym if they understand what the stimulus or what the goal of the workout actually is. Then from the other spectrum, you've got the fat loss phase, and everyone might sign up to a HIIT gym. So maybe an F45, and they're continually just hitting the metabolic umbrella. They're just smashing it. And then if you do lactic acid training well, it should only be for a few weeks. You shouldn't be able to do more before you start to deplete and run down. If you were to do blood work over the phase of a 6-month metabolic phase, you would be unhealthier at the end of that. So if you were then to go, okay, I'm going to do a systemic lactic acid program for 2 to 3 weeks, then I'm going to come back, build some muscle through a hypertrophy phase, give that metabolic phase, let me almost detrain in that phase, put some muscle tissue on, and then go back to that metabolic phase, you'll get better results in that metabolic phase. Or even better, you come out of that metabolic phase, you drop the volume right back, and we go into a neurological phase, which is strength training. We pull a lot of volume back, we get better at sending messages from the brain to the muscle to recruit more muscle fibers, so then you get more neurologically adapted at recruiting that muscle. So often you'll see people who've come from that, they just do HIIT classes or they just do a lot of volume, lightweight stuff, aren't really good at recruiting muscles that they want. So you can get better in a neurological phase, get better at recruiting muscle, better at initiating the actual rep with the muscle that's intended as opposed to just moving weight. Then you can go into a hypertrophy program, build up a bit of workload or work capacity, 8-12 reps, then go back into a HIIT training for more of that body composition results. But if your main goal is body composition, each stimulus you can then potentiate body composition with the diet. So from a neurological phase, if my goal is body transformation and I'm in a neurological phase, then I'm not going to earn as many carbohydrates because it's not as glycogen based. So I can still achieve those body composition results. I just need to focus more on, okay, I'm going to feed, what do I need? What foods do I need to drive neurological adaptation? Okay, it's going to be more proteins and fats, stimulate acetylcholine, dopamine, all these neurotransmitters that will help you achieve results in that workout. And then when you come into, like, say, hypertrophy, you're going to need to replenish carbohydrates post-workout. So you could then, okay, I don't need the carbs pre-workout. I can have them post-workout and get more hypertrophy goals, replenish the glycogen, fill them back up. You often talk about bodybuilders looking full. And then metabolic, you often see that, like, a lot of the metabolic gyms or coaches will, like, they'll put people on a lot of low carb work. But the great thing about carbs is if you have, like, glycogen in your liver, which is stored carbohydrates, then it's easier for the body to make lactic acid and get the hormonal benefits from lactic acid. So staying under one of these umbrellas, metabolic, hypertrophy, and neurological, isn't always going to be beneficial for getting optimal results. So we'll leave it there for this video, guys, and